Alrighty, welcome everybody to the first of hopefully many Zoom videos kind of demonstrating the Healy. Let me try and turn my other phone down. I can hear myself on my phone as well. All right. Demonstrating the Healy, doing some training on the Healy through Zoom. Super useful to do this. You'll notice I've muted you all, and you can't unmute yourself because then people do silly things and yell at their dog while we're on Zoom. And I have one person in particular I will unmute a little bit, and they'll be in my test subject, okay? So I know some people have invited prospects onto this, so I wanna give a little bit of my background, a little bit of information on the Healy, do some very practical step-by-step processes and how we do this, the potential benefits of it, all that. So my background is I've been in holistic health for about 25 years. The last about 13 years, I've been a holistic stress coach. So I do kind of, I'm certified in a form of energy healing that I do by distance with muscle testing. So I have got clients all over the world, and I also mentor clients as well. So in April, someone had messaged me about the Healy, and when I looked at it, I was like, wow, if this will do what I think it will do, this will be stunning, because everything has a frequency. Health has a frequency. Pain has a frequency. Love has a frequency. Bitterness has, everything has a frequency. And I was very well versed in how well changing people's frequencies radically impacted spirit, soul, body for them, okay? And the more I looked into this, the more I realized that this device could do a lot of what I do for my clients using a simple device with an app on your phone that was wearable, convenient, intuitive, that wasn't prohibitively expensive. And that's certainly what we found. This device is made by Healy, okay? And the man who developed this device also has a company called Time Waver. By the way, if you don't have a pair of these AirPod Pros, magical. They have, I forgot I hadn't turned the noise canceling on. I turned the button on and boom, everything else silent on my house. So the gentleman who developed this also has a company called Time Waver, where they have large frequency devices that practitioners use. You're going to spend $10,000 to $30,000 and extensive training, and it's got to be connected to the computer, and it's not wearable, etc. And he always wanted to have something the average person could use. And finally, they developed this. They developed this in 2017. They started marketing and network marketing in 2019, okay? They were doing about $5 million in business internationally before they opened the US, and we did $9 million in business in the US. Absolutely stunning. So the Healy, basically, it's one device with 4 levels of programmability and functionality. So the first 3, the Healy Gold, Healy Health, Health Plus, all 3 of those have just different levels of programs on them. In total, 120 programs. So a Healy Gold will have the gold programs on it, very much for balancing. A Healy Health has additional health-related programs. And a Healy Health Plus has all of those, plus more lifestyle programs like how to learn, and beauty, and fitness, and activation, like an activation one for your job. The 4th level, a Resonance, has all of the programs plus the ability to do scans for people, okay? And to deliver therapies vibrationally. So this one right here, you hook up to yourself using straps, which I'll do. And so you could strap them to your wrist, to the back of your ears, to specific points of pain. This one, you know, can do all that because it still has those. Plus it has the ability to send programs vibrationally where you don't have to be connected. So The first 3 levels we have a very much accessible with standard research, Newtonian physics, all that. We have FDA certification on this device for pain, intractable pain, chronic pain. In Europe, we have a lot of additional medical clearances, which I can't mention because I'm in the US, for a whole host of other serious issues. Vibrational therapy deals more with the quantum, and you can't really do standard research on that because of something called the observer effect. I won't go into that. And it works by distance, which freaks people out, but super accurate. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate a couple things. One, a few practical things. So, like I carry my Healy around in a little bag with the straps, so it's nice and convenient. Okay, so I have these straps here. I've got my Healy. I've got some ear clips I order separately. I have some gel that I order off Amazon. Okay, sometimes people have connectivity issues, and so sometimes I put a little bit of that on there. I have the pads that came with it, little sticky pads, and I also have some additional pads that I ordered off Amazon. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm first going to demonstrate this on myself, and I'm going to run a program on myself on one device, and then I'm going to also scan and run some programs for my friend Lynn on the second device, and just give you some insight on how to use this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here. Let's see here. All right. So I've made my other one a host. I'm gonna share screen. All right, so what you notice, this is my phone right here, and I've got a subfolder with all the Healy programs in it. So when I open this subfolder up, you'll notice I have 3 applications in here. The Healy app with a pink dot is for the Healy Gold Health, Health Plus, Healy Holistic Health, and Healy Holistic Health Plus. Okay, and so when I want to run the direct microcurrent programs, I open that one. The Healy Advisor Analyze is for my resonance level of the Healy, and this is the one that can do scans. So I'm going to open up that one right now. And if you notice my Healy right here, hopefully you can. One second here. Okay. If you can, a question for everyone, if you can see both my video and this screenshot of my phone, please type a message into the box to make sure. Just want to make sure these are both working here. Or if you can't, if you can only see my phone, let me know that. Yes, okay, great. That's what I need to know. So on this, one thing you notice, I put a little sticky on this Healy. Why did I do that? Because I have multiple Healys. And so I put a different sticky on each one with the last couple of the serial number of it. So I know which device this is. So I know that this one is my resonance, okay? So we're gonna click on this disclaimer, and we're gonna click on clients, and I'm gonna go down, scroll down to myself as the client, because I put myself in there already. And I'm gonna click and save and analyze. And I wanna do a quick aura analysis just to demonstrate that. And it's scanning for Healy devices. So if you notice, I've got no lights blinking on my Healy. So I'm gonna turn that on. And you notice now I've got some blinking lights. I'm gonna scan for Healys again. Sometimes it's a bit finicky. Come on. There we go. Now that number right there matches the serial number on this. So I know which one to connect to. All right. So we're connecting to this app. and it's this is the interpretation of my aura, and I'm going to also do an analyze, and you notice I'm quite low here. So what it's going to do is going to take the 3 lowest chakras, which are root chakra, forehead chakra, and crown chakra. And this isn't, this one thing to understand is this can change quite a bit. And you can't, if you do it multiple times, you'll get different answers. One of the reasons for that is the observer effect, okay? When you observe something, it's gonna change. So for example, this one is forehead. Who am I, where am I going, how am I gonna get there? I've never done this before. I don't look it, but I'm a little stressed out about doing this. And the root chakra also is connected to that. Everything else is pretty good, okay? So now this, I'm just going to be very open with what comes up here, and we'll see what comes up on it. Sometimes it can be excellent, very interesting. One of my siblings did this once, experiencing emotional blackmail at work. Okay, so quite humorous. I have a very large group, a lot of very unhappy people with how long their devices are taking. That's hilarious. Okay. Also, yeah, trying to integrate 2 different contradictory aspects into my occupation. Being the nice guy, keeping everybody happy, and having to be the bad cop because people, people are complaining. I have to run the organization, all that, so also super accurate. The yin yang consciousness. So pushing on things, it's like the balancing the male and female energies is difficult to do right now with all that. So, yeah, and here we go. The person tries to reach unity with everything, but they're experiencing separation. So hilarious. Now, so I can do a couple things with this. Notice I've got actions and vibrate. So under actions, if I'm working with a client and I may want to send this to him, so I'll click on actions and go in here and see the share button at the top, right? So I'm gonna hit that. And it's gonna say, how would you like to share this? Well, it's all sorts of different options. I'm gonna email it to myself. And put in here, Stephen, right? And I might put their aura analysis, okay? And send it. And I wanna then hit the OK reconnect to the Healy, because when it sends that, it loses the connection temporarily to the Healy. It'll reconnect that. Just waiting for that to happen. And we're good. So then I'm gonna just hit the X on here to get out of that. And I'm gonna go down here to vibrate. Now, you'll notice the select transmission, right? If I click down on this, it's gonna give me an option of how long to send a vibrational therapy for. The shorter the time, the more for more acute issues, longer for more chronic. Now, here's where being able to muscle test, super, super helpful. So if I muscle test, 1 minute or less, no, about 12 minutes long, okay? Now I'm not gonna do it for 12 minutes because I also wanna do, something for Lynn. So I'm just gonna say, hey, we're gonna do it for 8 seconds, okay? So as I do this, you'll notice it shows how long it's going on, and every time it does it, it's checking me, sending it, and seeing how I'm doing it with it. So we're done with that. The second thing I want to do is I want to do, so we did an aura analysis. Also, I can do a resonance analysis, okay? Let me just check for any important messages. All right, so a resonance analysis is going to go through all 120 programs that are available and tell me which one I have the most connection with. And when I find it, then I can either run the therapies vibrationally, or I can switch into the different app and run it through microcurrents. So I'm going to click on the resonance, and I'm going to go back down to me. Where'd I go here? There we go. Select database. Now I can choose databases individually, okay? Or I can click all Healy programs. So first I'm curious what comes up with all Healy programs. And I'm gonna click that, and I'm gonna, when I put my thumb on my phone, it's not actually reading my thumbprint. I could put anything on it. It's just wants to know that I'm paying attention, okay? That's why you put your thumb on there, like, oh yes, I'm not distracted. This is what we're doing right here. And you notice it did that very quickly. Healy mental balance and job. So my mental health and job program. So I have a couple options. I can go into actions. I can send someone the PDF of this. I can also give myself a vibrational therapy of this. What I'm going to do though, is I want to know, I'm curious, I'm going to run an actual direct connection program. So I want to know, of the mental balance ones, which one would be the best for me. So I'm going to click back here, back to resonance analysis, go back to my name, and we're going to go on mental balance right there. And of the 8 mental balance programs, I'm going to scan for which one is best for me. All right, inner strength is the one I'm going to do, okay? So I'm going to actually close out this program. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to push that up to the top, okay? I'm going to grab the pink one, which is for regular programs, okay? And one thing I'm actually going to do, I'm going to use my other Healy to run that, so I can use my resonance to do everything for Lynn. So it automatically connected to the first one. So what I'm going to do, in the upper left-hand corner, I'm going to click on here. I'm going to go all the way to the bottom to settings and see connect to another Healy. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to search for another Healy. And I don't have this one on yet, so I'm going to turn it on. And now I've got, you'll notice I've got lights blinking here. Okay, and I'm going to, if you notice on the back of it, the one on this side over here is a QWERTY code. So I'm going to take my phone and I'm going to hit scan QR code. And I'm going to hold it up to the device there. You notice I put my thumb over the everything else. Sometimes that makes it a little easier. Device not found. So we're going to try it again. Sometimes it's a little picky. And that is the, you notice I have the last 2 of the serial number written 6E, which is also accurate there. Search for another Healy. All right. Just going to click search for another Healy and see what comes up. And you see sometimes it's a little finicky. All right, we did the exact same thing. This time it connected. Notice I just have a white screen here. And if this doesn't get fixed, we will log out of it and try it again, but it's looks like it's trying to work now. Perfect. So it grabs back to the last program that was being run on this one. My daughter was running care, but she didn't finish it. All right. So I'm gonna in the upper left-hand corner, I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click on that again, and I'm going to go to mental balance, and it was inner strength. Okay, this one right here. Okay. So now, one thing I will tell you, the contentment acute and some other ones, it will tell you to put pads on your shoulders. In the US, you can't, Healy can't send you ear clips due to FDA regulations. If you look at the original Healy manual I have listed on healyfaq.com, and you go through and you go to the programs, it will actually list ear clips or on the mastoid bone. You can't get that manual on the Healy website anymore. So for example, on the contentment acute, it would list ear clips or mastoid bone for that program. And in our Facebook group, there's a link on how to order those, but we can't really share that publicly. So I'm going to click on inner strength, and I'm going to put these pads on. By the way, I want to give you a quick tip on strap management, okay? Because you have all these wires everywhere. What I personally do is I keep them connected and I just Velcro them to it itself. I open up one side over here. I take the straps, and while holding it, I just wrap it up like this, and then I close it off. So it's easier to transport, right? So sometimes people have issues with connections, and we'll show you where that comes up. And you might want to use a little bit of electrode gel. Okay, so this thing finished downloading everything. You might want to use a little bit of electrode gel on the pad itself, right? And sometimes if you're having major issues, sometimes also on the actual connection there as well. So you see it's trying to run right now on 15%, but there's no connection. So this part right here is black, okay? But you'll see that change in just a second. All right, so I'm putting both these on my wrist. That. I'm going to plug them into the correct device here, because I have them labeled so I know which one it is. All right. And now we're still not seeing it in black. So I didn't put any gel on this side over here. So let's see if that helps. Usually I don't need to, so I'm surprised that this is telling me that I need to. All right, so we see the ability to do a little bit of troubleshooting here. I wonder if these are actually all the way in. There we go. All right, so someone asked, where am I putting the gel? I'm just putting the gel in between the strap, okay, and the clip right here. And I've just gone back out. There we go, and we're back. So as long as I see the white, I'm good. And there we go. Now, what am I going to do? I can close this out, which I'm going to do, and it will continue to run, right? Because what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go back with Lynn, my friend Lynn. I'm going to search her, Lynn Carlton. So I'm going to take her off of mute. All right, hold on a second. Yeah, actually, I think I have to change who the, Post. Hold on a second here. I got to figure out how to. Okay. Any questions? Percentage. Oh, yeah. That Lynn made a good comment to raise their percentage. Usually, a muscle test myself on what percentage, and usually I'll run about 30 to 50% for that. That's usually what I do. Okay. So let me go back to participants, and I'm going to reclaim my hosting, and I'm going to go find Lynn. And I'm asking Lynn, if you can hear me, unmute yourself.
Got it.
Can you? There we go. Okay. So here's my friend Lynn, and we're going to do a session on Lynn, and we're going to do it remotely. Okay. So I need to figure out how to spotlight your video and at the same time go and re-share my screen here. Is this all making sense, Lynn? Anything I should have added so far?
No, I think it's great. Makes perfect sense.
Okay, great. Will you tell us how to access the recording list? Yes, I'll send recording. All right. So I'm going to go back to this one, and I'm going to make myself the host. And let's see here. A second here, I seem to almost got disconnected. Ah, there we go. Okay. Screen share again on my phone. So what we're going to do for Lynn, we are going to add her as a client on my Healy, and then run a few things on her and kind of go over in a little more depth on the different cool things you can do with this. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to need a picture of Lynn. And so if I look up, I'll just show people how I could get one. Go on Facebook, profile picture. I'm going to grab that one. So I'm just going to screen capture on my phone. I'm going to edit it down like this. Save it. So then that's saved to my gallery. Close Facebook out. I'm going to then go over here, back into the Heal Advisor Analyze app. Click Next. I'm going to go into Clients and add new client at the top and an individual. Okay. So first I need a picture of her. So when I tap the plus button here, take a photo or choose from gallery. So I already have the picture in the gallery. So I'm going to go there. I'm going to grab her picture. All right. And I need to make sure my Healy's on. So I turn that on real quick. Testing, testing, testing. Okay. All right. L-Y-N-N-E, Lynn Martin. Should we put, is Carlton your maiden name?
It is.
So I'm going to put that in there.
No E.
Because it's no E?
No E.
Like that. All right. The reason I put that in there is just to put more information in. If you can put more information, it's great. What is your year of birth, Lynn?
1958.
58. All right, and the month and day.
April 11th.
April 11th. It's probably very close to that time you found out about Healy, wasn't
Yes, as a matter of fact.
it? And place of birth.
DeLand, Florida. DELAND.
Don't they have the high school cross country championships in DeLand?
I have no idea.
I think they do. All right, so I have all the information in here. And you see this button here, right here, to record a vibration. Now, if Lynn was in person, I would have her hold my Healy in her right hand. She isn't. So I just make the intention that I'm holding this on your behalf, Lynn, and the vibration that's going to record is yours. So I'm just going to click on record vibration. And we're good. So I'm going to click check for her. Okay. Constant messages. And then I'm going to click on the upper left-hand corner here. Oops, should have saved that. Has been stored. Yes, we want to do a new analysis. Okay, so we'll do like me. And we'll do an aura analysis for Lynn. Click the analyze button. Look at Lynn, she's doing way better than I am. So let's do that. And sometimes the stuff that comes up with this is funny. What came up for me was a little bit funny. So my sister the other day messaged me. She goes, I just did a scan on myself and the Healy says I need to work on the issues with my strong-willed manipulative mother. And she goes, I just had a conversation with mommy. She wanted me to do something. I knew that if I didn't do it, she would give me the you're not a good daughter vibe. And I called her on her tendency to do that. And she still did. And then I ran the scan because, yeah, you need to work on the issues with your mom. So we'll choose the 3 top ones and run through that. All right. The occupation brings much happiness. Let's see here, the motions that depend. All right. Sometimes we'll just send that to you. By clicking action. Come on, you can do it. Should be a little faster than that. Come on.
It usually is.
What's that?
It usually is faster than that.
Yeah, it's usually much faster than that. Hope you don't have to close the app out. Sometimes you have to. It's frozen. What do? Just close it out. Start again. And when we go back in here, we're not actually going to redo your aura analysis.
Okay.
In that context, what we could do is we could send you a vibrational therapy from it. The aura analysis also provides insight on what you might want to work on. That makes sense? Like emotionally, like for my sister, yeah, you need to work on the issues with your mom. For me, whole host of conflicting emotions around business and the stress of it, right? So, but there's other cool things we can do, right? So we're gonna go for Lynn. And we're gonna pull her back up. And actually, first we'll hit the resonance, then we'll go in for Lynn. And it's always interesting to start with all the programs. Now, this is not going to be Lynn's thumb. It's going to be mine. They're not recording your thumbprint to break into your iPhone or anything. Okay, that's not how this works. The screen of my phone cannot actually record my thumbprint. It just knows that something is pressing on it. All right. And all it wants to know is like, hey, are you focused on this? Are you like off wandering around somewhere else? Okay. Because when using this device, your intention and your focus make it more effective. My niece mentioned this. She goes, the more I use it, the better it works. Okay. So Healy Beauty Program. So we could go in, we could do a couple things. We could say, hey, I want to do vibrational therapy on these, right? Of all of these, right? So a little bit of chakra stuff, a little bioenergetic too. And I could select a transmission time. This one, I'm also testing you, would be about 2 minutes. We're not going to take the time to do that. When I work with clients who are having pretty major issues, often these transmission times are much longer because they're dealing with major issues. So I'm doing emotional coaching sessions with them. I'll run an aura analysis scan. I'll send them the vibration of that while we work on some other stuff. When it's done, I'll come back. I'll do a scan of another thing, also send that vibrationally. So we're just going to send this to you. And I've had more and more people, when I do the scans and vibrations for them remotely, say, wow, that was good. I felt that. I feel better for sure. Or, sometimes I'm too busy to do an actual session for someone, and I'll run a scan on them and just send it to them. And the insight from the scan is actually super helpful. Okay. So what else could we do in here? For example, sometimes you don't just pick in general, what do I vibrate with? But maybe, for example, someone might have, you want to work on your business today. Okay. So maybe I could grab the job program and go, hey, what would be most helpful to run while you work on your business, right? All right. Extreme stress. Right? So again, you have two options. You could run it vibrationally of all these programs together, or you could back out of this, go into the other app, go to the extreme stress, and do a direct connection program with that, right? Or, or if someone, let's see, what else could we do? This, JK, we go here. This amino acids one is actually quite interesting because it's not just amino acids, it's all sorts of vitamins and minerals and amino acids. Very helpful when doing this to give you some insight on maybe nutritionally, what are you missing? And then it will send you the frequency of it, but you go, I actually have that supplement in my cupboard. Maybe I should take it, right? So we're going to record this as well and see what comes up. Now this, often I find this in the Bach flower take the longest to run. Have you found that, Lynn?
Yeah.
What interesting experiences have you had using your Healys for people?
Well, gosh, I think that the biggest thing is just running a program, say a specific program. I feel like it affects every area. It's amazing to me, just like the general sense of well-being, even if you're running something for pain or something else, it seems to affect.
Yeah.
It takes the load off of the other areas, so there are areas that heal themselves. I'm sorry, I have a cat biting my ankle. Stop.
Yeah. She's like, yes, pay attention to me. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
So
and it's amazing to me that even though someone doesn't get the whole distance, how accurate it has been. It's
yeah,
been pretty incredible.
sometimes it's pretty funny. sometimes I'll like run the scan. I'll just like, I'm not even gonna look at that. I'll let you read that yourself. Like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So, so with these, if we look at these, we could go, okay, if we go to actions, now, so you could go, oh, I have some L-cysteine in my cupboard or whatever, copper, interesting, gamma linolenic acid. So I could Google, what is L-cysteine important for? And it might tell me, and I might go, oh yeah, well, I am actually experiencing that problem. What a great insight that this particular nutrient might be helpful for that, okay?
Mhm.
So if we hit vibrate, and I could send that to a client through a PDF. If I hit vibrate and I do select transmission time. So for you, when a muscle test, it comes out at 56 minutes long. And obviously I'm not gonna do that, but you notice that's kind of in alignment with some of these being a higher percentage.
Mhm.
So you might really wanna look into that and go, hey, do I have some real, maybe important nutritional deficiencies that I might wanna work on, okay?
Mhm.
So if we go back to resonance analysis, we're gonna do one last thing here. And I'm gonna go into the Bach flower remedies. Now, these are very interesting. So for example, Lynn, do you know anyone who has a lot of essential oils in their home?
Imagine, yes.
I imagine, yes, like you,
Right.
okay?
You've seen my drawer.
I've seen your drawer. So you can have a big book of all an encyclopedic knowledge of what essential oils to use, or you can do something like this for you or for others remotely. Super cool, right? All right. So, so a bunch of these, what I'm gonna do is, I'm just gonna send that to you.
Mhm. What I noticed when I was looking at that is when I looked at the top, I'm like, okay, there's not an oil for that. But then if you look at the bottom, usually there's an essential oil listed at the bottom that is more common.
Correct. And this is a little bit stuck. And I'm not gonna, hopefully this will. All right. I'm not going to take the time to do that. But there we go. So I'm going to stop screen share. I'm going to go back to participants and let's see if I can share my screen. All right. Sorry, give me a second. I'm trying to get back to where we can all see each other here. Thought my Zoom skills are pretty good, but having issues at the moment. Let's reclaim host. That's what we need to do. Perfect. Stop participant share. And go back to myself. All right. So let me look through the questions and answer some of these here. Lynn, if you also look through the questions and see maybe I see both. I see both. On phone. How do you decide if you're going to run vibrational or microcurrent? Well, vibrational, I can't, was what I would have to do remotely. Microcurrent on myself. I would say it's helpful sometimes to do overall vibrational therapy. Do that sometimes, especially with the aura analysis. You don't have a microcurrent option, but definitely I work on doing a couple microcurrent therapies daily. In general, you would do a couple out of the gold every day. Like, for example, Pure, starting with Pure. Marcus Schmika says for a lot of people who haven't done a lot of this, that a lot of people should just kind of hang out in the gold programs for a couple weeks until you wander off, right? So that's one thing to think about. Will you tell us how we can access recording this? Sure, I'll put it up. Putting the gel, so I put the gel underneath the pads and also sometimes on the metal link there. And Lynn accurately said if I had raised the percentage, it probably would have made a better connection, but I didn't think about that. Usually I do, 30 to 50% is what I do. Can elaborate on muscle testing. Muscle testing is just applied kinesiology. So using a muscle response from my body to see if something is energetically true or false. I've got a whole YouTube playlist on how to learn how to do that. You can pull the scan you just did under list. Correct. So I can go into back into the Healy and analyze app on the resonance, and under lists, it will show the most recent scan I did. I can just go back and grab that old one if I want to. I would say, you know, if you ask Roar Melson, I think he tends to prefer the results with the microcurrent over the therapy. Curious, how do you muscle test to see how long to run the program? It's just make a statement, 1 minute or less, no, 1 minute or more, yes, 2 minutes or more, yes, 3 minutes or more, until I get yes, 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 yes. If I go 56 minutes, yes, 2 hours, no, I go back to 56 minutes. Can be more subtle. Yeah, the vibration is more subtle, direct and noticeable. So one way to describe it is when I'm connected to it, it's something you feel. You know, I ran a depression program earlier with ear clips. It actually hurt. I was like, ow, it wasn't even turned up that high. I was like, somewhat painful. Can you please repeat the time frames longer for, so shorter for more acute issues, longer for more chronic issues. Lynn, do you know where that list is on suggestions on how many times to run programs for what and vibrationally? We had that around, I'm not sure. I run vibration for my family as a group at night. Oh. I like Mitchell Merrill doing like I guess Mitchell probably put his whole family in as a unit, which you can do. You notice when I went to go add Lynn, I entered her as an individual. I've done scans on plants. I did one on a tree. It was super interesting. You could do on groups, organizations, buildings, different things like that. Super cool. You could go into the Great Pyramids of Giza and run a, you know, get the vibration of the whole pyramid. It'd probably be pretty cool. Anyways, that's it for today. Anyone else have any questions on this? Was this helpful to see so far for people? Going once. I'm going to mute all. Everyone is muted. And I'm going to allow participants to unmute themselves if you like. All right. Anyone, questions? Thank you, you're welcome, very helpful. Would you run a scan and program for our group? Interesting, I suppose I could do that. I don't know if I'll do that right now. I mean the replenish group, that'd be interesting to, maybe that's the thing we should do. Everyone with a resonance, run a vibration for our organization in general.
It's a good plan.
That was a super good plan. Ever get everyone back in the right vibrational states to move forward. So, yeah, settle everyone down. Yeah, very funny. Awesome. Anyways, happy to do this more in the future. Would this be helpful to do more training like this? Is this helpful for people to see exactly how to do this? Hopefully, and little hints and tricks. Yes, great, great. Yes, great. Okay, we will do that. I appreciate you all. And we will do more of this in the future. Everyone have an awesome week.